Good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Plant and I'm one of the maths teachers here at Elaine's, and I'm going to talk to you about the maths A level. It is a very respected and well thought of A level. It's an A level that is very challenging, it's quite logical, but it does show organisation, it shows determination, it shows a diligence around the work ethic, and it does show that students have the capacity of this more complex subject that really does stand out for universities and employers. An A level in maths does serve to boost prospects to high level apprenticeships, to universities, to employers, and it is something that's really good for the students to study. Some of the subjects at university that might require maths as an A level are on the screen now. Certainly things like physics, engineering, medicine and dentistry and pharmacy as well. They really like to see maths because it does facilitate some of the content that's taught in their subjects. It also complements quite a lot of other A levels. It doesn't have to be an A level that you take with something else. It's a very distinct A level, and a lot of the content in its own right is distinct just to the maths A level. We do tend to see correlation with physics, but that doesn't mean to say that you have to take physics to take maths. They are two distinct A levels, and there's very little crossover in content. Obviously, being fluent in maths does help you in physics, as it does in many of the other subjects that are on the screen. We like to think that it encourages logical thinking and that it can be applied to literally any situation. So the content of the maths course is very structured, and we use these textbooks to help with that structure. The students do tend to like the reliability of it, and they understand where they're going forwards and what they need to do to catch up if they've missed any work. The A-level maths course is examined at the end of the year in year 13. There's 3 papers, 2 for pure and 1 for the applied, which is statistics and mechanics, and the papers are evenly distributed. This is reflected in the teaching. We see them for 9 hours a fortnight, and 6 of those hours we teach them pure, and 3 of those hours we teach them stats and mechanics, to reflect the content of the work and to reflect the exams toward the end of it as well. The students have told us many times that they do like the structure of maths and they like the consistency from GCSE to A-level. For the past 3 or 4 years now, we've been doing these assessed homeworks every 4 weeks at A-level as well as at GCSE, and the students have really responded well to that. It helps them as well as us to see what topics they're struggling with, and to put support in place where it's needed. So, for example, if they have missed out on the key element of the discriminant, we see that early rather than at the half-termly assessments. We can pick that up on homework, so that when it does come round to assessments and tests, the students have already had some feedback on that. This is an example of an independent learning record. We do keep track of the students' independent learning, and we do set them quite a bit of independent learning in maths. As you can see here, it's split between core and mechanics, and we use the textbook to help with our independent learning as well. Normally we'd go through a chapter or a section in lesson, and we'd say to the students, right, go home and do the questions on that section. Next lesson, do the questions on that section. And we check this maybe once a week, once a fortnight, just to make sure that the students are getting the independent study done. As a general rule of thumb, we'd expect them to be spending as much time outside of lesson doing independent study as they have in lesson being taught, so roughly 9 hours a fortnight. On top of exercises that we might set out of the textbook, we'd also ask students to do exam questions, particularly in maths. This is a really good way to help them to access the exams at the end of the course and to help them deepen their knowledge to the type of question that might be asked of them. We are quite a successful department and our results do reflect that. In 2019, our average grade was a B. We do get quite a lot of students going up to Russel Group universities, we do get students doing quite a varied range of subjects as well. There's some examples on the screen now: medicine, physics. We had one student go on to do an apprenticeship at Rolls-Royce in accountancy, which is where these high level apprenticeships are starting to quicken their pace a little bit with the courses that are on offer and the types of courses that they're offering now. Who should choose maths? We'd ideally like somebody who likes maths, who enjoys the challenge, somebody who needs maths. Sometimes some subjects maths is a requirement. Somebody who is good at maths is very much about the student's confidence, and they need to be confident in the fact that they can take the maths A level and that they can succeed with it. We do have an entry requirement of at least a grade 6, ideally a grade 7, but at least a grade 6 to do the A-level maths. It is quite challenging and it is quite tough, and students do need to be able to access the higher level content from GCSE in which to be able to go on and flourish at the A-level. So that is a minimum attainment grade of a grade 6 to be able to take the maths A-level. Some of our students, maths will help me get into the university. They want to do a career in engineering, and maths is what they need to get them there. They enjoy the challenge that the maths A-level provides. We do quite often have students that find it quite tricky and they find it quite complicated, but they thrive on that challenge and they thrive on the fact that there is a subject that potentially they have to work at. And we do find that it does really help students to apply themselves and to improve in their determination. We do have quite small class sizes. Our class sizes are anywhere between sort of 10 to 15. Sometimes we have larger groups than that, sometimes they're smaller. We do have quite a clear routine and quite a clear structure, and we found that students generally respond very, very well to that. So some of the other things going on in and around the maths department, we have the maths club that runs on Thursdays after school that students can come and seek some support at. Sometimes we have the facility to offer maths tuition if students are struggling with particular parts of the maths A-level. We also run the maths challenge with all of our year 12s. It's a national competition to see who can achieve the highest grades in a very short and quite a challenging assessment. And we also take students out for the team maths challenge. So it's normally a day in Stafford, and they get the opportunity to meet students from other schools and have some problem questions to solve. Obviously, we'd have to make sure that was still running this year. There's also an engineering project in the department that Dr. Thompson runs. One year we had 2 teams, and last year I think we had 1 team. 6-month project that the year 12 students work towards in solving an engineering problem. They get the opportunity to work with a mentor both in school and outside of school, and they get some experience at writing reports and presenting their ideas, and it's a really good way to build the confidence and the teamwork and to use some of the skills that they will need in later life. I'm going to talk now about the further maths A-level. We do offer further maths at Elaine's. It is another maths A-level, and it is a distinct A-level in its own right. It's not just an add-on to the maths A-level, it is another A-level. The people that we like to have choose further maths are obviously somebody that enjoys maths. You're going to be spending 18 hours with the maths department over a fortnight. You need to really like maths to be that committed to take further maths as well. Again, you need to be quite good at maths. We need at least a grade 7 to be able to take further maths. And it is a big challenge, and we need to make sure that you thrive. And the best way to make sure that you thrive is by having a very positive attitude towards it. You do have to take the A-level maths to be able to take further maths. You can't take further maths without A-level maths, so it does mean that you're doing double maths. So we'd hope then that you have an outstanding attitude towards it. The further maths students do tend to spend quite a lot of time with us, and we do get to know them very, very well. It's about exploring different types of mathematical concepts that you probably haven't come across before. We look at something called decision, which is looking at algorithms. We look at further mechanics, sorry, which is looking at forces and motions in a lot more depth than what we look at the A level. We also look at some quite complicated concepts in further maths, things like complex numbers, where we're square rooting negative numbers, and series as well. We do quite a lot of interesting mathematical concepts and practices. If you are looking to do maths at degree level, or if you're looking to do engineering at degree level, a very mathematics rich course, it does mean that transition between A level and degree is a little bit easier, and it almost bridges the gap between A level maths and degree level maths rich courses. Again, it's quite highly structured. We use the same raft of textbooks, the Pearson's textbooks, and there's two for pure, one for decision and one for further mechanics. And the decision and further mechanics run through year 12 and year 13, and then the pure obviously builds on, book 2 builds on the content from the book 1 from year 12. The exams for the further maths A level, there's 4 exams this time. They're each 90-minute papers, so they're a little bit shorter than the maths papers, and they each contribute for a quarter of the final assessment. Some of our further maths students, they do tend to do very, very well. We've got quite a lot going off and studying maths, environmental engineering, physics. They do very, very well to our further maths students, and we are very, very proud of them. That is the end of my presentation. If you have got any questions that you'd like me to answer, then please feel free to get in touch. Our emails are on the school website, and thank you for listening.